It's the Dear Auntie Podcast with your favorite aunties, Carm and Co.
Talk to me. What's going on with you?
You need advice, and they've got the answers. Auntie gon' keep it real.
Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie.
You're tuned in to the Dear Auntie Podcast. We are your favorite aunties. I'm Co.
And I'm Carm.
And we are here to give you some real advice based on our real lives.
Absolutely.
Because it's not based on any type
Nothing
of
else.
theory, professional experience. We are not therapists, but we believe that the aunties in the community, they used to be, I don't know about today. We're trying to bring back the auntie energy. But back in the day, your aunties were giving you advice based on their lived experiences, the drama, the trauma, the lessons learned, so that hopefully you did not have to experience those same things. And so that's what our goal is here on Dear Auntie. But before we get into it, I know y'all missed us. It's been a minute.
Life
Been lifing, y'all. Life has been lifing.
But this is like the holiday season,
It
so we're winding
is. We
down, and we
are.
have time to do all the episodes today.
To do all of the episodes. We are in the studio getting all of our final 2023 episodes in, which is only 2 of them. So y'all, we're going to get it together for 2024, okay? We are going to because
promise.
we don't want to leave y'all hanging. Real quick, though, before we get into it, I have to shout out Belle Businesswear
Yes.
for this fly fit. I thought it was perfect. She sent me this back in the summer, but I thought it was perfect for the holiday
It's
season,
giving.
right?
I love
something,
it.
something, little something. Carmen needs something. Belle
Yes,
Business.
I want one.
wear. Hook up Auntie Carm. And if you happen to be an entrepreneur that has a product that you would like us to promote, do a demo, a
Anything.
review, test it out, or just rock it, let us
Yeah.
know. Send it to us, dearauntipod@gmail.com. Okay, let's get into the show.
Okay, so first of all, how are you? What have you been
Ooh.
doing? It's been a minute.
I've been momming.
How's that?
You know what?
I see my nephews, my virtual nephews.
Cutting up. So on a couple episodes ago, we talked about the fact that being a mom is not that fun. It's not that much
did.
fun. And I was like, Carm, I don't make it look fun. I don't. And so literally at like 3, no, it was 6 o'clock this morning. It was 6 o'clock this morning. I had been in Cairo's room. He wasn't feeling good. I was being held hostage. Like, mommy lay down for a minute. That turns into the whole night. Then around 4-ish, I sneak out of his room, make it back to my room, and Kenzo starts crying.
Oh.
And as I'm making Kenzo's bottle,
What
I'm thinking
happens?
about Auntie Carm. I'm like, you know what? This ain't too fun. You know,
You should have called me right then and there.
This is not what people post about. You know, you
Yeah.
don't always get to see like the reality of what's really going on at 4 a.m., changing these diapers, doing these things. So
But
that's
it's
my life.
all worth it.
That's what I've been doing.
It's all worth it.
It is.
And they are just so precious.
Thank you.
Adorable.
I am tired.
I think about 98.9% of mothers across the world are probably exhausted
Motherfucker.
at this point in
How are
time.
you,
So
how are you doing? Because let me say this too. Let me
good.
say this.
Okay.
People don't check on non-moms enough. I think that we get a lot
thank you
of,
for saying that.
you know, we get a lot of like sympathy for doing it.
agree.
But what about you? You are still doing a lot.
I'm good. Like this season, like I told you before the show started, 2023 has been kicking ass.
Girl,
It came in and kicked
dragging me.
in the door.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm glad to see 2023
Get the hell on.
get the hell on out of here. But these last few weeks, I've been pretty good. Like
You
things
had a
have
party.
been-
We're gonna have to put in
did have a
video
party.
over here of us taking the shot
Yes.
that almost took me out.
We-
Carmen,
we
you
had
were
a ski
serious.
shot. We
Carmen
had-
is serious about the parties, and I loved it.
First of all, we had a ski shot.
What is a
Co
ski
and
shot,
hubby-
Carmen?
So it's when it's a shot ski. That's actually what it's called.
Okay.
And so you put 3 shot glasses in there, or 4, or however many, and you all take the shots at the same time.
So people like me cannot cheat.
So that you can't punk out.
Yeah, I'm
so
a punk.
we had a good time, and I am a game person, game lover, love all the games. So we played a lot of different games.
We did.
We had a good time. So I like to do something every holiday season, and so we did it.
And we're going to be playing like a grown woman TV game night. I'm so excited about that. So stay
Wait,
tuned. We'll have
today?
footage. Not today.
Oh,
Next
okay.
month, Carmen.
Oh, yes.
You're
At our sleepover.
at our sleepover.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had a
Okay.
fun time, though.
Okay, good. I'm glad you came.
So let's get into what we are over.
Let's.
Besides the year.
Okay, besides being over 2023, I am very much over the need to what I feel like is humble Beyonce, as well as other Black women in Hollywood.
What are they doing to Beyonce?
I just feel like People look to Beyonce to do every single thing under the sun. Not only is she an excellent singer, an excellent performer, a philanthropist, she gives us all the hits. She gives us the looks. Okay, what more do you want from her? She gave us Blue Ivy. I mean, the list goes on, right? And she gave us a vibe this entire season with the Renaissance tour, okay? So the people are coming for Beyonce. She had like this platinum blonde wig on. And the people hopped in the comments and they said, what is she trying to be white now? What does she think she a white girl?
Holding comment.
And I'm like, yeah, hold your comment, auntie. And so my thing is, she's a light-skinned Black lady. She's Creole. It's the wintertime. She's gonna look light-skinned. Is she not? How is that her trying to be white? My mom is probably her complexion as well, and she's just as Black as they get. So I'm not understanding why that commentary has come into play. I don't understand what that is about. And then furthermore, I do not understand the desire for Beyonce to speak out on political issues.
Okay.
Now, I love Auntie B, but I don't know if y'all have heard her talk.
We have. She shouldn't.
She's
talk
she's
that
not
much.
she's not an orator. She's not really good at public speaking, giving interviews, anything like that. And I think her PR team has done a good job at telling
Keeping her
her
hidden.
to just be quiet. Don't you
Be
say
seen.
a word,
Yeah.
Beyonce. And so they're like, hey, free Palestine. Why aren't you talking out about Palestine? Listen, I, for one, am glad that celebrities don't talk out about political matters that they have no idea about. Some of them should really keep their mouths shut.
This
And
is
I
true.
think Beyonce is falling right in line with that. Second of all, what exactly do you all think is going to happen when Beyonce does, let's say she does post Free Palestine on her Instagram page? Do you think Joe Biden
He's
and
going to sign
Kamala
like an executive order.
are going to get in her comments and be like, you know what? Beyonce, because Beyonce spoke out on it. Now, this century-long war that's been happening in the Middle East is now we're gonna put it to an end because Beyonce,
Has spoken.
the queen of all things, has spoken. So I just want us to get more realistic about what we're asking of celebrities and really start putting that pressure on our politicians who are the actual reason why all of this is happening. And the U.S. does have blood on their hands because they are funding this whole genocide. So that's
Agreed.
all I have to say.
Agreed. That is definitely something to be over. I
Yeah.
think that, well, the comment that I was holding.
Yeah,
let's
because you was
go
trying
there
to
first.
say that Auntie B
Let's go there first.
is a white
So
lady.
I was not saying that.
Okay.
As a fairer-skinned woman, we do lose a little color in the winter.
Yes.
Agreed.
You a little light-skinned.
However,
Mhm.
did you or did you not think that she looked like Kim K in that photo? I definitely was confused when it came across my
Okay.
timeline.
I will say when it came across my timeline,
You had to look
I
twice.
had to look twice.
That was my only comment, is I definitely had to look twice.
You
Do I
are
think
correct.
that Beyonce and her stylist woke up and said, let's make you look a little Caucasian today? I don't think
No.
anyone said that, but I was a little confused by the photo myself.
Okay.
I don't think it was intentional, but it caught me off guard.
Well-
The other part of what you said, though, I think Black people, period, we expect our entertainers to be the leaders of our community because we have no leaders in our community.
Ooh.
And so those are the only people with a platform, with a voice, so we think. And so
Interesting
we
point.
are expecting them to lead us.
Yeah,
Because who else is going to
that's a good point. Who else gonna say something?
Who else
huh?
is going to say something?
But I'll tell you what, Mama Tina has something to say to y'all,
Mama Tina is
and
not
she
playing.
touched y'all the hell out,
She
and I, for
did.
one, was very glad about it. So that's all I have to say. That's what I'm over. What are
That is
you
what she's over. I am over. This is, well, everything we talk about is for the Black ladies. But I was going to preface, like, Black women, I'm talking to y'all. I think that we have to do better in accepting accountability. I am over the fact that y'all cannot be wrong about anything.
Ooh.
You cannot accept an opinion that is contradictory to your own. You do not ever open up a conversation and have a dialogue that can be opposing views without being offensive, without discrediting the person who is speaking, their view that is in opposition of yours. And I think that Black women as a whole have a very much, who gonna check me, boo?
Oh, this is specific to Black
This
women.
is Black women. This is Black
Okay.
women because
Okay.
y'all know that I host multiple podcasts, right? And so
You do.
we don't talk a lot about relationships here, but the relationship conversation gets spicy.
Does
It is yes, it's triggering for a lot of people. If you make any comments about anything that could trigger a specific person, they are quick to run to the comments and discredit anything.
I got you.
So I am, we don't have to talk, we don't have to go deep in it, but I've just noticed a trend that not just on my, on my videos and my comments, but just as a whole, we don't take criticism well. Constructive criticism. I'm not talking about somebody who is not qualified to give an opinion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who is qualified, who is experienced, but just has an opposing opinion from yours, and you cannot accept it. They must be wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. It's just always an attack on the person and not really considering the perspective. So I'm over y'all not being able to be wrong. Nobody can tell you anything. And I think that if you are going to get anywhere, it's going to take evolution, maturation, like consistently improving. And a part of that is self-awareness. So if can't nobody tell you nothing, you're not going very far. And I'm over it.
Are the girls in your comments? Are they hopping in your comments?
They are hopping in my comments, and I am over it. Get out.
I feel like this is personal.
Girl, get out of there, because I personally am a very self-aware person.
You are.
And I also am not afraid of being wrong. Like, I don't mind being wrong. If I do something wrong, I will apologize for it. I'm quick to apologize.
That's so nice of you.
I mean, it's just like I'm an adult. I know that I'm not perfect, and I don't think that.
But that's not
nobody
an
can
easy
tell me anything.
thing. That's not an easy thing for people to do.
No, it's not. But y'all need to start doing it.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, thank you. So, are we getting into Auntie Would Never?
We are. What is your Auntie Would Never? We haven't done these in a long time.
We haven't done these in a long time. So today, my Auntie Would Never. And hopefully this is your would never either.
Okay.
I am not okay with letting people I care about crash and burn.
Okay.
So personally, I would never allow, I'm going to say a friend, but allow anybody I care about for real to make a decision that I think could lead to their detriment without at least speaking up. Now, I'm not going to force my opinion on you. I'm not going to try to make you do what I think you should do.
Right.
But if you're going down a path, especially if you're going down a path that I've personally traveled on and it has led me to destruction, I'm at least going to offer some guidance. Offer some guidance. I think that we have to do a better job of having tough conversations with the people that we care about if we actually care about them. So
I agree. We've
that's
talked about
what
this before.
I would never do. I'm not letting you crash and burn. You're just going to be mad at me.
And they will get mad.
They will get mad.
They will get mad.
But they'll circle back. I've had so many people circle the block like, girl.
Me too. Me too. It is what it is.
You was right. And I don't do it to be right. That's the other thing, too. I don't do it to be right, and I'm never going to bring it back up. That's between you and the Lord.
We're just doing it to be good friends.
That's it.
That's it.
What would you never do?
Well, Auntie Co, I would never go get a wax without performing proper hygiene.
What is proper hygiene, Carmen?
So, just washing your cooch, making sure that you wash the front and you wipe all the way up the back to the booty.
To the booty. Is this only if you're getting your butthole waxed too, or do you
just still cleanse that area before you go? And if you don't have time, which you should, make sure you go to the bathroom, get the wipes. Wipe it down.
They do provide wipes in the bathroom. Yes.
Wipe it down, because it's unfair to your wax lady when you don't do that. So I believe you and I saw a video.
I was going to say, is this in relation? Is this in response to something on the internet?
I believe you and I saw a video in which a wax lady was saying that she was waxing someone, and she waxed the front, and they were doing good, and she got all the stuff in the front. And then when it was time to flip over, she noticed some fecal matter that was in between the booty cheeks. And so
I believe she didn't say some.
She said it was quite a bit. It was
a
quite
lot.
a bit.
She said it was a lot.
And she was even wondering if the lady had, I don't know, taken a shit while she was waxing her.
So, I'm waxing her front. I get to her back and I'm like, no way. And I was like, and I literally sat there and I was just like twirling a stick of wax. I'm like, I gotta say something. I was like, yeah, Miss such and such, I can't wax you. She, why? I said, well, you have a lot of number 2 in your butt. And it was like a lot. It was like a lot, like to the point where it looked like she didn't even wipe. So I was just like, and she's like, no, I don't. I've been having problems boo-booing. I can't even boo-boo. I'm like, well, I don't think you got a problem because it's right here. And she was like, let me go to the bathroom. And I was just like, okay.
And so I'm like, hey, how do we get, first of all, wax lady, did your nose not sniff something out prior to the flip over?
Not pliers.
And then,
Okay.
second of all, ma'am, that's getting your wax, did you not feel the fecal matter compacted into between your cheeks?
Something was wrong with the lady, right?
It had to be.
It had to be because you didn't smell it, you didn't feel it, you didn't notice it, and you brought your ass in here and took your panties off.
But when I went into the comments, I was shocked and appalled to learn that this is a common occurrence on the wax
Girl, I did not
table.
read the comments.
Yeah, so there was wax ladies in there telling their truth. They were like, listen, me too. Hashtag, it happened to me too. And I was like, wow. So this is a thing. Y'all are really going to the wax lady, not wiping down your booties, and then spreading
them cheeks.
And then not only that, you're adding wax
To the
to
shit.
an already
Oh my God.
sticky situation. I'll be damned. So
I will be
I just
damned.
will never, could never catch myself doing that.
Girl,
Yeah, speechless, huh?
I am speechless only because now I am really thinking about if this is a common thing.
It's common, apparently. Toilet tissue.
So things like that I could understand,
Yeah,
but
but
I
just
could
got a little
see.
stuck,
Yeah,
a
you
little
got a
bit.
little
But
a little
still.
residue. But like actual like I'm changing my child's diaper. You know, like that, I can't imagine how that could happen.
Like
Seriously.
corn, some corn
Stop
stuff.
it. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
sorry.
get into these hot topics. That was pretty hot and nasty. Let's
Hot
get into
and
some
stanky.
some hot stanky topics. Okay.
Speaking of hot and stanky,
Hot mess.
Jonathan Majors.
What the hell?
What is going on? We were rooting for you.
I wasn't really rooting for him.
You weren't? Well, I was rooting for him in life. You weren't rooting for him in life?
You know what? When you decide to get the white woman, tell the white woman to root for you in your life. Auntie Ko don't have nothing for you, black man. Go on back. Go on black.
No, babe.
Nope.
So, this gentleman has been found guilty of assault and a battery, I believe, on his
Mhm.
ex-girlfriend.
Ruined his career.
Ruined his career because he was at the height of his career.
Yep.
He was getting Marvel money. Like, think about that.
Think about the handful of black men that have been able to do that.
So I was rooting for him. I thought he was a good guy. It turns out he got himself into this sticky situation. Some tapes surfaced of him giving his white girlfriend a lecture at the time and saying, hey, I'm a very important man. And I need you to stand up like Coretta Scott King.
Like who?
You heard me. Coretta Scott King
A black woman?
and Michelle Obama, First Lady.
Oh,
Our forever FLOTUS.
Gotcha.
And so when I heard the tape, I was like, something ain't right with this brother. Because you're talking to a white lady. So why would a white lady be standing up like Coretta Scott King and Michelle? I don't get it. So if that's my point is, if that's what you were looking for, my brother, why didn't you go get that?
Oh, he did, Megan Good. Because what is happening?
You mean the beard?
I don't know what I mean.
Because
Because
my
I
thing
don't know
is-
what's going on.
Because that whole situation is looking funny in the light to me. How all of a sudden, now that you're in trouble, now
want a
you
black
done
woman to
found
save
you
you.
a black woman. And this is what I'm talking about. Black women being the mammies of the world.
We are the saviors.
We are the saviors of the world.
Mhm.
And enough is enough. We have to stop doing that. We are not people's-
Olivia Pope in real
We're
life.
not Olivia Pope. We are not your emotional support people.
Yes, we are.
So I'm a little disappointed that that's how that went down.
What do you think Megan Good is thinking? Because obviously, the first thing I thought was publicity stunt. Like, she's going to get something from this, he's going to get something, but she's just looking bad to me. I don't know what she's
It doesn't
gaining
look good.
from
It
this.
doesn't look good. I don't understand what she's getting out of this whole scenario. I don't know if she was getting a check.
I was going to say, is it worth it? But I know we're going to talk about this later, but apparently the Hollywood girlies are not really making coins like we thought. So
Apparently.
maybe she does need the check.
Apparently, and she does a lot of those independent films. She hasn't really been in anything that's
Major.
major as of
recently.
late.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, I just had to talk on that because that was very, very interesting.
So can I wrap it up in a little
yes,
lesson?
please.
Get a black woman. Right? I haven't seen a black woman chasing any men down in the street pressing. I have not seen it. Not to say that doesn't also do us a disservice because we don't often speak up for ourselves and stand up right away. So that's not, the best thing. But we don't often throw our men under the bus publicly. Look at Tiger Woods. Y'all ain't learned y'all lesson. When you decide to go on down and get you a white girl, stay.
What happens when black men get to Hollywood? Is it like they
think that they have surpassed the black
do
woman?
they give you like a ticket that
Yes.
is like this
Here,
is your ticket
here's your stamp
to get into
to the white train? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They got that ticket stamped. Now you stay your ass. It's a one-way ticket. It is a one-way
ticket. That's for
so
sure.
stay on over there.
Okay. On a previous episode, we talked about plane etiquette. Okay. And I was sick of y'all hitting people in the back of their heads with your backpacks, standing in the aisle, acting a fool, talking on speakerphone. But I think this one takes the cake.
Does it?
Bobby Storm, a 36-year-old gospel singer, she has been notoriously going from plane to plane and holding people hostage, singing her songs on the plane while people were sitting on the runway. So these people can't fend for themselves at this point. They're stuck.
What do you mean? She's sitting in her seat.
She's sitting in her seat,
practicing
and then
her
she
song?
stands up and she says, "Hello, everybody. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to sing you a song." And everybody's kind of like, okay, I guess, because we're stuck. We can't really move.
What's
we
the
can't
flight crew
escape.
saying?
So finally, an old black man, who I was so glad he was on this flight, an old gay black man came up to her and said, "We don't want to hear it." We don't want to hear it. He was like, "Well, I have a right to say." He was like, "No, ma'am. Would you like to get off the plane?"
Is this a flight? Is it a flight? Okay.
Would you like to get off the plane? But she still did it. And so I just thought that was the most ridiculous thing. So if you know her, Bobby Storm.
Is this a white woman?
No, she's a black lady.
Oh, wow.
36-year-old gospel artist. Her thing these days is she's going from plane to plane and holding people hostage with her gospel music.
That's like the guy that stands on the street corner preaching.
Yeah, I think that's very anti-Jesus.
It is, because get out of here. You're beating me over the head with this?
Yeah, we don't want it. God isn't pleased.
I was going to say that sounds very white, so I am very
So
surprised.
please stop it, Bobby Storm.
Please stop. Don't be on my flag.
Generation Zers are not getting married anymore. Auntie
How
Pep.
old are Generation Zers?
I don't know.
20? Okay, we'll Google
They're
it after.
younger than us.
Okay.
And they're no longer getting married because of political beliefs. So the Generation Z women are moving farther and farther to the left, and the guys are moving farther and farther to the right. And so they can't find any mates these days. So what do you think about that, Auntie Co? I know you have something to say about this.
Is this real?
Your face is
I
your
mean-
face is giving confusion.
I am confused. So you're saying that as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of Generation Zers are having opposing political views, and because of
Yes.
that, they cannot find partners.
That is correct. And some millennials, some younger millennials.
Well, I think that COVID,
Damn,
George
how COVID
Floyd,
get in it? Oh, okay.
the climate, the political
Okay.
climate at the time, it definitely split people. Like it put you had to choose a side,
Yeah.
with the whole vaccine conversation. That's why I brought up COVID, because
it.
I feel like that is the best example of you got to pick a side. And based on the side
Mm-hmm.
you pick, your partner could leave your ass based on your opinion.
Yeah,
And
it happened.
And kind of rightfully so, because these are big, like, life, not necessarily who I'm voting for. I don't think that's a reason to leave someone. But if we disagree
I don't
on,
know.
like, I mean,
if my husband would have voted for Trump, I probably would have been like,
well, I think if your husband would have voted for Trump, there was probably other things that
gotta
came
go.
along with that. It's not just I marked his name on the ballot.
Nicole, you stupid.
I'm just saying. I think there's other things. I just think there's other things. I don't know that I would say I can't get married because none of these men agree with me politically. I don't know. I think
I
y'all
get it.
are going to
I
get
get
over it.
But no, I get Generation Zers ain't playing around with nobody when it comes to
They're
politics.
not doing nothing that they don't
When
want to
it
do.
comes to religion, voting, they ain't doing nothing they don't want to do. They are quitting jobs on
Left and
Instagram
right.
Live. They do not give a damn about what we talking about.
So what do you think about this? What do you think? Do you think they're wrong, or you can see why they would be like that?
I actually can see, because there are a lot of things, like you said, political views that impact your life
On a daily basis.
on a daily basis, whether it's religion, whether it's abortion rights, whether it's whatever the case may be. A lot of these things really do impact your life daily. So, all right, Generation Zers, I think they are going
I'm mad at Gen
they're going
Z.
to fade out
Well,
marriage.
I would be mad at that if they did that. But
I knew it was gonna be a trigger.
But I'm not mad that they are doing things their own way. They're
Yeah.
saying, let's look at what's not working and let's stop doing that shit. Like, let's
Agreed.
decide what we actually want and not just do what our mama did, not just do what our grandmother did. And that's, I
Yes.
think, what we started at. Y'all, we started it,
We-
okay?
it was
We
us.
crawled so y'all could walk.
That's
all
right. Trendsetters.
But shout out to y'all. I'm not mad.
Taraji. Now, my girl, I really do like Taraji. I love her. And I have been noticing.
She's a Howard alum, right?
She is a Howard alum. DC, she's from DC. I'm from DMV area. So, I really, really ride for Taraji. I think she's good people, right? But on these red carpets lately, she has been looking so upset.
Has she?
And I don't know.
Okay, I didn't think this is where you were going with this. I haven't seen her on a red carpet.
Her eyes have been kind of glossed over. She just looks like she's not herself. And I started to notice that while she was doing the Color Purple press run.
Okay.
But I thought maybe I was looking too much into it. But in a couple of recent interviews that she's been doing, she's been talking about how sad she is and thinking about quitting being an actress because she's not being paid her worth. So she said she was thinking about walking away from the Color Purple, not even doing that. Now, we know who's behind Color Purple.
Auntie O?
Auntie O.
Mm-hmm.
So the girls are upset with Auntie O at this point because they're saying, you're a billionaire. Why are the girls scrambling for coins to do the Color Purple?
It's such a classic.
Now, here's what I'll say. One thing that I think people do oftentimes is when people are rich, especially Black people, when they get money, they expect those people to pay out of their personal funds for things that are happening. So if Taraji needs money, is it Oprah's job to say, I'm going to take it out of my pocket to pay Taraji?
Is it Oprah's responsibility? Is that what you're asking?
My question is, are they expecting Oprah to pay out of her own pocket Taraji for this feature film?
I don't think so, but I think my assumption, if I'm a part of an Oprah Winfrey production,
is that there's gonna be
assumption is that
coins.
you are going to make not just coins. You're going to make sure your people are taken care of. Your Black cast. Because
That
are there
part.
any white people in The Color Purple? I would just expect that. That would be an
I agree.
expectation.
I agree 100%. And I think that's kind of where people are going with it. So I don't know if you noticed, but Oprah has turned off her comments on Instagram.
She should, yeah. Between that, the Ozempic, I mean, the Hawaii stuff, she should just
Her comments are off.
She should shut it down.
And I think we're coming into a season where, I don't know, I think people are really turning on Auntie O. And, I'm kind of on the middle, on the fence about it. I'm like, I'm not on one side or the
Are
other.
you?
But Oprah has not really given me a major reason to dislike her.
Mm-hmm.
But I get why people would say that they ain't feeling her.
Gotcha.
I'll say that. So back to Taraji. She was paid $150,000 for Benjamin Button. She was initially offered $75,000. So when we're looking at these celebrities, we're thinking they're making multi-millions for each production, and that's just not true. So I don't know. I was surprised to hear that. What are your thoughts about it?
I think that we definitely assume that anybody in Hollywood, anybody we've ever seen in a movie on television is rich.
Yes.
Like, that is our assumption. One thing that I personally learned during the strike was the lifestyle of these actors, that they are responsible for their own
Everything.
housing when they are on location, on set, in these different destinations, shooting on location, shooting these movies for months at a time. They are responsible for their own accommodations.
That's just insane to me.
That is insane. coupled with having children, coupled with not having not having a home, a true home. You're always on the road, just the lifestyle of it. I don't think it's as glamorous as we probably assume. And now to find out that they ain't making no money.
No money.
And not even that they're not making money, they are like actually getting played. Like Hollywood is like playing in their face. Because we talked about Terrence Howard and Hustle and Flow getting $12,000 for this movie that went, like
Platinum.
Triple platinum. So to find out that everybody's getting played,
it's insane to me.
That there's not that much difference between the way that we feel, like our jobs play us. They are.
But I don't even know if it's everybody.
Thing.
I think the point is that it's predominantly Black actors and then specifically Black female actors, actresses. So I think that's the major takeaway for that. So I'm praying for Taraji. I hope she pulls through. I hope her mental health, I hope she's doing well, or gets into a place where she's doing well mentally and emotionally. But beyond that, I hope they run her check.
That's another reason why I would assume and expect that Oprah would take care. Because if you know that this is the standard, that they treat Black women wrong, you as a Black woman with a cast full of Black women, I think that you should have made sure that they were taken care of.
I agree.
So no, it shouldn't come out of your pocket, but if it has to, it could.
It could, because you got billions.
You got it.
All right. Let's talk again about marriage. And this is something that I think is really important because we talk about what the nieces should be doing in marriage. And I am a believer that you should always have a stash tucked away.
Are you?
When it comes to marriage. Have you a little money on the side? I think
when you say stash, you mean secret? That they don't know about?
Secret.
Okay. It's just your own.
They could
what
know,
makes it a stash
they
then?
Could know it's your money on the side just in case something happens. In case you gotta pay for something you're not expecting to pay for. In case, something goes awry. You never know.
Okay.
Shit be happening.
This is true.
So there is an influencer online. Her name is Adara the Explorer. She's a stay-at-home wife. And she, her brand is essentially that she's a submissive wife. She stay at home, that kind of thing. So a comment that she received is, I pray you have money tucked away just in case. Because she always talks about just how her husband provides everything, that kind of thing. Her response was, no, call me whatever you want, but I'm not living in a just in case mentality about any part of my life, including my marriage. My husband and I have made a vow to God and to each other that no person and no thing will come between us. There is no reason for this to even be an option or a consideration. This is bigger than money. It's always about money to people who have made a God out of it. I don't need anything stored away because I'm not speaking a curse over my marriage. And so, Auntie Co, I'm so curious to know what you think about this or what advice you would give to a niece. Would you advise her to not have any money anywhere?
I do not believe in secrecy inside of your marriage. So let me start by saying that. And when I hear the word stash, I associate stash with secret.
Okay.
So I don't have a quote unquote stash. I don't advise to have a quote unquote secret stash, right? You call it whatever you want, but the secrecy, I think, is what makes it an issue. Because I don't want my husband feeling like he has to have something secret from me. Now, with that being said, I definitely think that you should have an emergency fund of your own, because if you only are counting or can rely on what you have as a couple, if that's depleted, I want to be able to say, baby, I got it. I want to be able to say, mama has something saved. Not, I got this saved because I can run out the door and I'm planning, maybe if something go wrong, I got to have something to, be secure.
But that's what we're talking about right now.
Well, no, but you said, what would I advise? I don't think that should be a thought. I think this is like a prenup conversation. I don't believe in prenups. I don't have a prenup. Okay. So it's the same thing. It's like, I don't believe in planning to fail. And if my husband approaches me and says, I have this money put aside just in case this doesn't work out, I'm going to feel some type of way. My feelings are going to be hurt because why are you even thinking that this might not work out?
Okay.
So you believe in it, but with the other way. No, the other way. What about your husband having a stash? Do you care?
I wouldn't care. No.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, you come before anybody else. I don't care if it's your husband, your child, your mama. You have to they tell you to put your life jacket on first, your oxygen mask on first. You have to think about yourself first. As much
Agree.
as we don't want things to happen, shit. I just had a friend, a relationship with a friend, or I won't get too deep into it, but we had some business arrangements happening, and we had to break that off. Did I go into that expecting that was going to be the case? No, because that's my friend, right? But at the end of the day, life happens, people change. So Auntie Carm's advice is, nieces, always plan for when shit don't go right. Because while we don't want that to be the case, we don't live in La La Land, we don't live in a fairy tale. So you don't know what could happen. It may not be even something that you have done. It may be that your husband goes off the deep end one day. He cheats on you and up and leaves you, whatever the case may be. Of course, those are not things we want to happen, but it's happened before. So to many people around the world. So I say always plan just in case so that your ass is covered.
I think we said the same thing.
We did.
We did. I said if something goes wrong, I want to be able to say, baby, I got it.
For each other.
Yeah, my
For
intention is
him.
just not, I'm have this money for
But
me.
it's not,
we
I'm
do,
not talking
okay,
about
we do disagree.
him.
You're right.
I'm talking about
you're right. We
yourself.
disagree.
Okay.
That's what y'all are here for, though, I think. Because
Yes.
somebody out there, you're going to be able to pick a side. Let us know in the comments, what do y'all think about the stash?
So yes, and then I know we have a lot, but there's so many things we have to talk about, and we have to talk about something that's very important. So I think we can skip all of these. But
Are we? We're skipping? Okay, we could bring this up
no,
on the next one.
unless you want to talk about something.
Nope, let's go to the main topic because
Okay.
I need to get serious.
Okay, but I do want to say that Ashanti is supposedly pregnant.
Well, why don't you just threw that out there?
So
Okay,
I
well, now
wanna
we got to
say
talk
that.
about it.
No,
No,
I
you
wanna
can't
say
just
that.
say that. Now we got to talk about it.
Because, her and Nelly have been getting it. They've been having the time of their life. And this gives us old ladies like me, hope about getting pregnant in the future. Because she's like 40-something, right? So, but if there's somebody who has her beat. There's a 70-year-old woman in Uganda by the name of Safina Numakwaya. She just gave birth at 70 years old. Now, I don't know how.
I know how she did IVF, and that is wrong as hell.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it
That
was
should
like
be illegal.
I don't like that
Oh,
idea.
I'm sorry. Was you gonna ask me what I thought?
No,
Oh.
I just wanted to put that out there because I thought that was quite interesting. But I think that's selfish
It's
as hell.
appalling. You're about to die, lady, on any calculator, on anybody's calculator. You don't
She
have that
finna
much time.
die.
I'm just saying,
My
like,
word.
I'm too old. I'm praying to meet my grandchildren.
You're
Seriously,
not old.
I'm just saying,
You're
it's
not
a real thought. Okay,
All right, let's get into the real topic of the day.
now
here.
I got to be serious.
Yes, because this is a very serious matter. All right. Today's topic, nieces and nephews, we are talking about
Stay away from these old niggas.
that part. Predatory. How to catch a predator. Okay, Chris Hansen.
Please.
Because at the end of the day, we see this far too often where our nieces are being preyed upon by older men.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also seen it where older women are preying on younger men. We don't see it as often, but it happens. And so let's just get into it because we're talking sexual assault and trigger warning for everyone out there. This is going to be about rape, sexual assault, and abuse. All right. Diddy and Cassie.
Oh, let's go in.
Let's just get into
Let's
it.
just go. Okay.
Let's get into it. Diddy and Cassie. Diddy was 36 when he met Cassie, and she was 19. So we
Mhm.
remember when Cassie came on the scene. She gave us some hits. It's me and you. That was my song.
Been waiting for you. Is that
Yeah.
Cassie?
That's Cassie.
Okay, good.
Okay. And so she was there, and then she got with Diddy.
Mhm.
She's a beautiful young girl. And then she gave us another little cultural moment where she shaved the side of her head.
She definitely started something.
Right? And she started this trend, and we was like, yes. And come to find out, that wasn't necessarily her own doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was Diddy who made her shave the side of her head. And per the documentation for the case, she submitted all of this documentation. She also said that he made her get breast implants
And then take them out
and then take
immediately.
them out immediately after because he didn't like them. He made her have sex with random men that they would find on the internet, that kind of thing.
Had all of her medical records. That was probably the most mind blowing part
Had
because
all
that's
of-
deep. That's like
Yeah, just doing
Lifetime movie deep.
real weird stuff. And so the rumors have been out there about Diddy for a long time in the industry, right?
Mhm.
Me personally, I didn't really want to believe it because I loved Diddy at the time.
Which rumors are we talking about?
So I'm talking about all of the rumors about him being, on the down low, about him being a freak, about him being an abusive person.
See, I didn't know about the abusive part. I knew the down low. That to me was the Diddy rumor, like the down low
Well,
rumor.
Kim Porter, it had came out when she died. That's when the rumors started swirling around.
Gotcha.
And then, but he'd always been known to be violent. He would have been known to hit people over the head with champagne bottles, threaten people. Like that was just his thing, right? And so now we're in a space where people are coming out that knew Diddy. We're also corroborating Cassie's claims.
Mhm.
And so I'm saying all of that to say, a lot of times, nieces, when men come to you with lots of money and opportunity, and that's kind of what they're leading with, and they're a lot older than you, that's an immediate red flag. And we're going to get into some more red flags later on, but I really feel like that's what happened with Diddy and Cassie. So I'm going to pause there. What are your thoughts on when you initially heard this information?
I was not surprised at all.
Okay.
I
actually was surprised.
Carmen, you are always surprised by the things.
I
I be sending Carmen so much stuff, and she be like, "No, I don't want to
Put my wig
believe it."
down.
I'm like, "Girl, it is damn true." Okay,
Gosh.
whatever they say he did it. That's my thought. I
Wow.
think that between J-Lo, Shine, Biggie, Tupac,
You're right.
I'll be sure. I mean, like everybody around him dies.
The signs were
Or
there.
the signs are definitely there. I am surprised that it has been this long, like that he got away with it for so long. But I think because it is just norm in the industry, nobody was going to speak up about it.
Yeah.
So I am super proud that Cassie spoke up because she literally opened up the door for
Yes.
other people to come behind her who had also been victimized.
So brave. And what tends to happen when people come out with stories like this is people try to blame it on, oh, they want money or they want this. Here's my thing. If money is the way that I'm going to be made whole because I don't want to go to a trial and I don't want to take this to court and I don't want to go through the discovery phase and I don't want to be re-traumatized by having to sit in a courtroom, if you're a billionaire and I say that I want $30 million so that I can feel whole, then so be it. Money is a part of the process.
Money is a part of the process. That's all that she could get. This was a civil case. It wasn't a
Exactly.
criminal trial. And the thing that I think that people are not taking into consideration is the potential that he took away from her. She could have made way more than $30 million as an artist on her own if he would have let her flourish. But he stopped her shine.
Yeah, he wasn't holding her hostage.
Yeah, he does all of his artists. So $30 million is chump change, especially because I can't get my life back. I can't get these years back. I am traumatized. Like, luckily she's married and has these children now, but that could have literally like ruined the rest of her life. So
Exactly.
a couple dollars, please.
Yeah.
Pay it up.
Agreed. And so when we talk about this rape culture that exists not only in society at large, but especially within Hollywood, when we look at the R. Kellys,
Aaron Halls.
the Aaron Halls, when the news broke about R. Kelly, I mean, getting people to believe that story was like pulling teeth. The people did not want to stop stepping in the name of love for 5 minutes so that we could say, hey, he's peeing on little girls. You know what I mean? Like, what on what planet do we value stepping in the name of love over protecting young Black girls?
America.
I'm bothered by it.
We don't value anything but money and entertainment.
And we put celebrities on these pedestals that they can do no wrong. Oh my God, not R. Kelly.
He wouldn't do that, as if you know this man.
And it's like the same R. Kelly that married Aaliyah when she was 16. That R. Kelly? Like, are you kidding?
But I think, again, it's being slow. It's coming out, like trickling out because it's happening it's such a part of their. So I have a auntie who I've adopted that worked in the entertainment industry like 20 plus years. So I asked her, like,
What be
Auntie,
going on?
what was you thinking when this news came out? Like, I just said that because
Yeah.
I didn't want to like guide her into giving me an answer. I really just wanted to know what she thought. And her honest thought was, She said my first thought was, I'm surprised it took this long.
Ooh.
And my second thought was, I hope nobody calls me in the process, like in these proceedings. I hope I don't get called.
That was the main thing.
That was the main thing
discovery
because
process.
it's such a, and she said that, I'm like, well, how does stuff like this go on? And especially because a lot of these victims that are coming out are men too.
Mhm.
So, there's video clips that y'all can find of Diddy and Fabulous, Diddy and Usher, Diddy and just all of these uncomfortable conversations that people were just okay with being a part of. So
Yeah.
that makes me question anybody that's ever even been in a picture with Diddy. And I'm not going to name no names.
Please
But if
don't.
y'all go searching for,
Because I don't feel like arguing with you today.
don't argue. We're not going to argue today. But I just feel like me as a person,
Mm-hmm.
his reputation precedes him.
Mhm.
Especially if you're in that industry. So you know who Diddy is. We might not know who Diddy is, but the
Yeah.
people in the industry know who Diddy is. So why are you hanging out with him? Why are you doing business with him? Why are you taking pictures with him? Why are you at his parties? If you're there, I feel like you know what's going on. You didn't even get an invitation
Yeah.
if you were not okay with this.
Okay.
So you're guilty too. All of y'all are
And
guilty.
Everybody guilty, if you ask me.
Mhm.
And one of the things that people like to say is, well, he has money. He doesn't need to do these things. He doesn't need to rape. He's Diddy. He doesn't need. Listen, and I want to make this very clear. Rape, sexual assault, abuse is not about the need to do it.
Facts.
It's not about the need to get vagina. He's
It's really
Diddy. He can-
power. It's just power.
everywhere. He can get vagina. It probably hit him in the back of his head if he walked down the street. It's not about vagina. It's about control.
Mhm.
It's about controlling the victim. And it's sociopathy. It's narcissism. It's all of that. So I just want to make that very clear. This is not about a need to have sex or a need to do whatever.
Or
It's
the fact
about
that you can't get it. Because I always think
Yeah.
about Trey Songz. The fact that he's had
who's
so
from
many
my hometown.
so many sexual. Trey Songz is like so fine to so many women, right? He is. Women would take their panties off on site,
Back in my hometown, he was that guy.
And
All
they
the
were
girls
taking their
were like,
panties off.
Trey.
so why would he need to rape someone? And he still does it.
Yeah.
So
well,
I don't think
that's what they say. Allegedly.
allegedly. Let's say that, okay, allegedly. But I don't think that we normal
Mhm.
thinking, rational people could ever understand the mind of a predator.
No, of course not. We don't want to. We just know that it's not good, and we're going to speak out about it. So let's talk a little bit. I think you have some people listed here.
I do.
That
Let's talk about that.
it.
So, being that this was a norm, because we talked about Diddy was 36, Cassie was 19,
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly was however the hell old he was, Aaliyah was 15.
Yeah.
Aaron Hall got hit, I forgot her name, Vanessa, I think, got her pregnant when she
I don't
was
remember.
17.
Mhm.
16, got pregnant, had the baby at 17. At that time, while she was in high school, she was a video girl.
Okay.
So I think that this was just a part of the culture. Y'all are getting these
Definitely.
young girls to be in the video. So of course she's on the scene. If she's attractive, that I think is how they got involved with a lot of these young girls.
Mhm.
Because she mentioned she has a baby by Aaron Hall, but she mentioned being groomed by Uncle Luke. So I think that these girls were just kind of in these
In the
environments.
mix.
They were in the mix, and that's how they got caught up. Foxy Brown was in high school with Jay-Z.
Wow.
Your girl Beyonce
Uh-oh.
was how old? 18 years old. And Jay-Z was 30 years. Can you imagine a 30-year-old man approaching
An 18-year-old.
an 18-year-old? Like, what are you looking to her for? What do you want from this 18-year-old?
I mean,
know
when
we
you
don't want to
say
talk
it
about
that-
Beyonce.
when
I
you
know we
say
don't want
it-
to talk about Beyonce.
I mean, but no, when you say it, it's true.
It's very
It's
true.
a high schooler.
It's a high school woman, yeah.
And you're 30. You've been out of high school for 12 years, over a
Mhm.
decade.
Yep.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. You definitely groomed her. This is all grooming. Kimora in high school with Russell Simmons as an old ass man.
And Russell
okay?
Simmons has been known to get
The
into some
cases are coming
things.
out of the woodworks. And so I just think, back to my original statement, stay away from the old niggas because they mean you know well.
Mm.
If a man who is, I don't even want to put a number on it because I feel like once you get over like 25, 30,
Yeah.
it a 10-year difference or a 5-year difference, it's a little, it changes. But if y'all are not compatible, right?
Yeah.
If you feel like this older man is trying to act cool because he needs to try to fit in with you, something's wrong with him. Run away.
But the issue is, though, that I think we cannot overlook. The issue is that when you're younger, that
Mhm.
feels cool to you.
it does. That's
you
why I'm telling y'all, stay
feel-
away. It's not cool.
Yeah,
it
like-
looks cool, but it ain't.
I want to emphasize, because you're right, those are red flags. But I want to reemphasize that in the moment, you might not see them as red flags. It may feel like you're special.
Mhm.
Like, this is a cool, I get to ride in these cars or whatever. No, like Auntie Ko was saying, it is a red flag. Please step away.
It's going to lead you to destruction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I've been there.
Let's talk about it.
When I was 12 or 13 years old, there was a guy that worked somewhere where I used to go for aftercare.
Mm-hmm.
Like on I won't get too specific, but anyway, this guy was known to be a predator to the young girls there. So he would always be trying to get us to sit in his lap. He would be, very flirtatious. He's grown now. He's grown with a wife and kids and things like that. But when I was younger,
How old was he at the time?
he
Do you
had
guess?
to be in his late 20s.
Ugh.
And then even at that same time, when I was in high school, probably about 16 years old, I had this boyfriend. His name was Ant. They called him Live.
Girl, you
Live
giving all the
Wire.
tea on Ant. What Ant
Yeah,
did?
he was from Live Wire. That was his nickname. And long story short, he used to come and he used to get me from high school and things like that. And that was clearly something that should not have been happening at the time. But I didn't recognize it as that. I thought this was cool. I was getting picked up from high school. I was going to the mall.
You were the girl.
Yeah, I was the girl. So I'm speaking from experience that this definitely happened to me. Nobody could have told me in the moment that it was a red flag. Nobody could have said like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to him. I thought I was that girl. So just know Auntie Carm has been through it, so you don't have to go through
Do
it.
you feel like that had any effects on dating after? Because it's like my assumption is if you date like a super wealthy man, you can't go backwards. Like you've set a standard. So do you feel like that set you up for failure?
No, I don't know if it set me up for failure. I do think that for me, honestly, I don't know what impact it had on me. I just know that I started to look at men a little bit differently after that. Like once it dawned on me, because I ended up having to get a restraining order
Shut up.
in high school. He would drive up to my mom's house. At that time, it was just me and my mom living together because my parents had gotten divorced. And he would drive to my mom's house at night and sit in the driveway with his lights off until we had to go down to the police station. And one thing about
This is why you got to stay away from the old niggas because something is wrong with them.
Yes, correct.
The fact that he even wants to talk to you, something is wrong with him.
Yes,
So please
that's
stay
correct.
away.
And long story short, and here's another thing: when people always say, "Well, why didn't they go to the police? Why didn't they do this?" I'm here to tell you, as someone who has also experienced this, the police don't ever do shit.
They don't give a damn.
They don't do anything. I was a whole teenager going in with my mom saying that a man was stalking me. A grown man was stalking me. And showing up to our house, we put in a restraining order. Nothing happened. Guess what? Predators do not care about restraining
Pieces of
orders.
paper.
They
They
really
don't.
don't. They're going to keep showing up. They're going to keep doing what it is that they do. So I can go on and on about it, but yeah. So that's what happened.
So that's why I think it's super important for us to talk about these red flags, what to watch out for. Because to your point, I do believe there are certain lessons that nobody's going to be able to teach you except
Yep.
for life.
Yep.
Like there are certain things that you could not have. I found myself in an abusive relationship too. And if you would have told me that I would have ended up there, I never would have believed it.
Nope.
If you would have warned me when I was about to step into it, I probably wouldn't have listened to you. So there are
Nope.
just some lessons that life has to teach you.
Unfortunately.
But it's important for us to have this conversation because even if it's not a predatory situation, abuse is abuse is abuse. We are grown-ass women, and we, if we were still out here dating, could be susceptible to ending up in one of these situations. Now,
Yes.
hopefully, we have picked right with our partners.
Yes.
And we will not find ourselves in these situations, but we have both found ourselves in them previously. So I think it is like our duty to make sure that we are sharing some red flags from our personal experiences.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about red flags, but I want to just real quickly I just quickly want to note that sometimes from the outside looking in, these relationships don't look abusive.
Oh, they never do.
So, for example, when we look at the Keke Palmer situation and we look at the Tiana Taylor situation, who she came out after she divorced Iman and said he was extremely emotionally and mentally abusive to me. He was narcissistic
And they look like best
and they
friends.
just look like besties from the outside looking in. So I'm saying all that to say,
You never know.
even the people from the outside looking in can't always clock it when it's happening.
That's why it's important for you to know those red flags because
Exactly.
a lot of times when you get in those situations, it's only you that can save you. Nobody's usually going to come and pack you up from your house and carry you
Nobody.
off. And if they do, you're probably going to go back. So you have to be the one that saves you. And hopefully, recognizing these red flags will help you because you don't know a lot of times that you're in an abusive relationship. You think,
Yeah.
oh, he just really loved me and we tight, it's us against the
Mhm.
world. You think those things, but then
Oh,
you
you
hear an
jealous.
episode like this and you're like, wait a minute.
That's cute.
He is doing this. Wait a minute. I have experienced that. And then you can start putting the pieces together because a lot of times we only think abuse is me knocking you upside the head, and that is not the case.
We have a clip, and I guess we'll insert it here,
Mhm.
where the young girls are talking about the things that they love
Get it together.
about
nieces.
abusive relationships.
Yes, so let's
which
play that
is
clip.
sad.
The toxic that you like.
I like a nigga who, if I say leave me alone, he don't leave me alone. He might do at my door.
What's something toxic that you like?
I like a gentle toxic. Like after you beat my ass, I want you to come fuck me right after.
What's something toxic that you like?
Okay, low key, I like when a nigga beat my ass.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If we argue,
So nieces, listen. The fact that y'all are out in the streets, on microphones, on cameras, publicly saying that you prefer a little abuse.
Mhm.
Oh,
To keep it spicy.
control me a little bit. It sounds crazy. And
Mhm.
you are literally giving any man that happens to see that and then meet you a recipe for
Ooh.
how to abuse you.
Oh my gosh.
Please stop.
And I didn't even think about that. Anybody who sees that clip is gonna be like, oh, okay, she's easy prey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm.
That's pretty sad. But I think again, we have not experienced love either from our parents or so we're searching for it. And we think that this strong feeling, whatever this strong feeling is, it's love. And a lot of times it's rooted in abuse. So let's get into some of these red flags.
Okay.
I think the first one is I think all of these are pretty typical because whenever I hear someone like a survivor sharing their story,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this nigga did that too. Like it's a classic.
It's across the
Y'all
board.
are all doing the same crazy shit.
It's across the board.
9 times out of 10, if you find yourself in any of those situations, something that we say is going to sound familiar.
Mhm.
So the first one that I definitely experienced, and I think it's an across the board, is like isolation. It's I want you all to myself, which at first that feels really good
Yeah,
because
he loves
he
me.
must really love me. He
Mhm.
wants to spend all of his time with me. He wants to do everything. Everywhere he goes, he wants me by his side. That feels really good. That's also kind of love bombing a little bit, but that feels really good. But it's really, I want you to myself so that nobody else can see what I'm taking you through. Nobody can save you from me. So I'm going to keep you over here where it's only me and you against the world.
Yeah, and you don't have any other experiences or anything else to compare it to because you're not out and about, you're not talking to other people, and so your reality becomes
This.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. I think a good one that you put here that some people may not recognize is the subtle shady jokes. So it's like throwing a little shade your way every week, every day, maybe
Like
ooh.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead with your example. I was
Well,
going to
no,
give
I'll
one.
say, looking a little fat
Oh,
today
okay, I was
in
gonna
your
say-
outfit or what, just like you put on a little few pounds, huh?
Mhm.
Or, just saying stuff like that to slowly chip away at your security or your confidence and masking it as a joke.
Even the not necessarily a shady joke, but you don't think that dress is a little too short? Like a laughing, joking way
Uh-huh.
that turns into like a mean, angry, take that shit off down the line.
Right. Oh,
it
yes.
starts off as a that like it starts off as a cute little
Yeah.
sly comment, but it turns ugly.
Yeah, turns into an argument
It
quick.
turns ugly. Yeah, it turns ugly. Sudden mood changes. So when I found myself, I feel like this show is about predators, but we're gonna have to do a whole nother one just
It's
on
about abuse in general.
we're gonna have to do
so,
part 2 though
yeah.
about abuse because the mood changes. My experience, I just said, oh, he's bipolar. And I didn't know any better. So don't cancel me in the comments. I didn't know any better. That's just
No.
all you crazy? Oh, you're bipolar. That's what I
Yeah.
had prescribed. But it was the waking up and you're fine. And then 2 minutes later, you got an attitude. Or,
Mhm.
you mad today because the sun is out
The hot
again.
and cold thing.
Just hot and cold, mood swings, and it ain't your fault. It's just, it's crazy. So
Mhm.
that is definitely a red flag to look out for.
Yeah. moving too fast, love bombing. So you're coming in immediately with the gifts, with the car, with the "you're so beautiful. Let's go on these trips. Because that's the way that
trips,
they
girl.
reel you in, so that you become dependent on that. And so now, when it's time to leave, you're going to wish that you had those things, so you're going to stay.
I think when you said that, because we talk about the gifts,
Mm-hmm.
I think the trips are more dangerous because the
Yes.
trips are experiences. The trips are things that only you two have experienced together, and that strengthens any relationship. If me and you go somewhere and we get into some shit,
Yeah.
good or bad, we now have that in common, right?
That's true.
So if we have these trips, that to me is like, and usually on vacation, not all the time, but there's some like fun, right? You're having a good time on vacation. Now with abusive people, it's not always gonna be good.
No, because they make the fun moments
Awful.
awful.
But you're
horrible.
still gonna hold on to that little bit, that
Yes.
sprinkle of fun that you had. So I
Yes.
think the experiences, the trips are a little bit more dangerous because even if you walk away, you can usually keep the gifts. But those trips, the memories of you holding on to what you wish it was gonna be, I think that's pretty
Yeah.
dangerous. So I think that the moral of the story is whenever we are having these conversations, it's super important to not victim blame.
Yes.
And I want to also speak to the friend of the woman in these situations because to your point, you can't always see it, but I think you see something.
You do.
So you might not see him knocking the girl out, but you notice some changes. You notice that she's not coming around as much. She's not picking up the phone or in communication as much. Her energy has changed.
She's
Her
not like
mood-
herself.
She's not like herself.
Yeah.
The same way you said that you noticed a visible change in Taraji, someone you
Right.
don't even know in real life. If you know this person in real life, you should be noticing something. I'm not expecting you to save, that it's your responsibility, but you should definitely notice something. And I think just, again, going back to my auntie would never, being willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable position to potentially save a life.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. I think in these instances, community is key. It's so important because a lot of times, like you said, the victim becomes isolated. So they do begin to feel like there's nobody that they can turn to. So I think making it clear to your friend that you are a safe space, you are someone that they can talk to if anything is happening in their lives, I think is going to, like you said, potentially save a life.
And I feel like just right now, all of y'all watching this, you should just text your homegirls, like hit the group chat and just be like, girl, if I ever look like I'm getting my ass beat, please say something about
Hello.
it. Say it now because it's a joke. So that if it ever actually happens, y'all and I already talked about this. We've
Yeah.
already had this agreement that if I notice something, I'm going to say something. Like just go ahead and send that message now so that you already have your safe person, right? You're my safe word. Basically, if you start noticing anything ever, you have permission to say something
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, that's good.
Whew.
That's
Okay.
good.
Can we get into some Dear Aunties?
Okay, we still gonna do it. Okay, yes.
We gotta do it, Dear
Let's do
Auntie.
some Dear
we
Aunties.
only have 2 today,
Okay.
and they are anonymous, so I'm assuming y'all telling y'all business. Okay, let's see. Dear Auntie, I just graduated. Do you see yours?
I don't, but that's okay. I can listen.
Okay, it's under here.
Oh.
Dear Auntie, I just graduated college and I work in the hospitality industry and I make a little less than $50,000. When I took the job, it seemed like a lot of money, but it is not. I find myself so frustrated because I'm broke as hell after I pay my bills. Should I go back to school? Try to find another job? Get a side hustle? Help, aunties. No, you should not go back to school. Let's start there.
Okay.
I almost said F no. Absolutely. Take it from someone who went back to school, got $100,000, $89,000 in student loan debt, and got like a $400 raise on my paycheck. Literally.
These people do not care
The
about
math
these
is not mathing.
degrees.
They don't care that you're not going to be able to afford it. They don't care that your salary does not support the debt. None of that matters. So the first part, no, do not go back to school unless you're going back to school to be a doctor. Okay? Don't go back. Try to find another job. All of the other things. I think that you should absolutely explore all of your options. I think as a college student, we all thought that number, whatever that number was, we all thought, ooh, that's more than we getting right now.
Can't
It's
wait.
going to be so much. We went out and got the cars with all of the things, accumulated all of this debt, and now we have like pennies left over. And that's stressful as hell. So I think you should do literally all of it. find another job, look for a side hustle, drive Uber, do DoorDash. I'm not above any of it. If the bills
Me
have to be
neither.
paid, you got to pay those bills.
Got to.
What
I
you,
agree.
What
I
you,
don't have.
What you say, Auntie
I don't
Carm?
have anything else to say. I agree with the whole idea of not going back to school to get, anything else.
Oh, you just went back to school. Was that
I did.
triggering?
No, because when I went back to school, it was paid for
Okay.
by my job
Okay,
at the
well,
time.
do what Auntie Carm did then.
However, I am paying for this last semester just
Okay.
because I wanted to finish.
Get it done, yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I am not fooling myself into thinking that by getting this master's, my life is going to change in any way.
I think that's the part.
Like nothing is going to happen when I get this master's degree. I'm very real about that with myself. The only thing that's going to change is that I'm going to feel accomplished by having done it because it's something that I set out to do. I had to drop out when my father passed away, and I feel like this is just symbolic for me. But it's not going to change my life in any way.
It's good that you know that. I think that is the part, though. It's when I expected that I don't know how much money I thought I was going to make. But, girl, $400 more, that was
Because
not it.
that's what they sell you.
Yeah.
They sell you that dream. And
It's
not
a
true.
lie. It's a lie.
Dear aunties, I'm a 23-year-old newlywed currently living in Chicago. My husband and I got married shortly after graduating college and moved in together. We attended school at FAMU, and I wanted to stay in Florida, but he got a really good job in Chicago, so we decided to make the move. Now that we're here, things are going okay, but I don't have a job. I don't really have any friends. I spend most of my time with his friends in his spaces and at our home. I'm starting to feel like his shadow. I'm wondering how I can maintain my individuality in my marriage, and I don't want to lose myself. No.
That's tough.
Well, you are young. You're very young. You're 23. So being married that early is tough in itself. So I definitely am sending you love on that note. But being in a new city is hard for anybody, no matter what age you are. I think one of the things that I would very much suggest is finding your own community. You are going to have to find your own community. You're going to have to step out of your box, out of your comfort zone, and find some hobbies, find some activities. There's something called the Black Girl Social Club.
That part.
Look that up. Find a chapter in your area. Make sure that you're connecting with other women. But I think that's pretty much the extent of my advice. Make sure that you're forming your own community while you're there in Chicago and not living in his shadow, because that's not going to do anything but create resentment.
Especially if you didn't want to go anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be resentment. It's going to create arguments and things like that. And it's not going to be good for the rest of
Not good for your marriage.
For your marriage.
I'm going to say, girl, stop playing. If you went to FAMU, there are so many FAMU alumni everywhere. Join an alumni association if you don't know any.
That's good.
And one thing, I literally was on Threads earlier today, actually, and saw someone talking about being new in a city and not finding community. And she said what has worked out for her is other transplants.
Okay.
So other people who are not from that city, find them, because they ain't got nobody either.
That's true.
So that would be my advice. But girl, you went to FAMU. Please stop playing with us.
Yeah, they're everywhere, just like Howard and Lum. So, But yeah, that's all I got for that, Auntie Co. I feel like
that was good.
Sis has to just make her own community.
She does, but definitely don't rely on your husband for everything. I think that is
That's
recipe for disaster.
Yeah, wanting him to be our bestie.
My husband is my bestie.
Okay,
We'll talk
I know
about
your
another
husband
episode. Y'all, this is probably our longest episode so far.
Oh my God, we made history.
It was bomb.com. It was a necessary conversation. So
Yes.
I need for y'all to share this episode with a friend. If you enjoyed it, leave us a 5-star review over on Apple. If you didn't, log off and never come back. Okay,
Yeah.
just joking. Come back,
That
because next
part.
week will be
We'll be
even
here.
better. We might not be here next week, but we will be back.
Yes.
soon.
Always.
Always. We'll
So
be back.
thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.